The Galactic Council's Grand Chamber fell silent as Ambassador Reed approached the podium. Hundreds of alien representatives from across the stars watched the lone human with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. This emergency session had been called to address what many species considered a grave diplomatic crisis. The human delegation appreciates the Council's concerns, Reed began, his voice steady despite the tension, but we maintain that our actions at 40 Mini were defensive and within established galactic protocols. High Counselor Vex, a tall, spindly being with iridescent skin, leaned forward. Ambassador, your species has been welcomed into our alliance, precisely because of your documented reluctance to engage in combat. Humans avoid combat. This was the very phrase used when your species was admitted. Yet reports from 40 Mini suggest otherwise. Reed nodded respectfully. The reports are incomplete, High Counselor. The events at 40 Mini had begun 3 standard cycles earlier. The human research vessel Galileo had been conducting routine surveys in the previously uncharted system when they encountered the Drakthul battle fleet. The Drakthul, reptilian warriors known throughout the galaxy for their territorial aggression, had immediately demanded the humans withdraw. Captain Morgan of the Galileo had followed protocol, initiating diplomatic channels while slowly retreating. What the Drakthul commander didn't know was that the Galileo had discovered something extraordinary on 40 Mini's third moon. Evidence of an ancient civilization that predated all known galactic species. The artifacts we discovered represent a scientific treasure of immeasurable value, Reed continued. When the Drakthul fleet opened fire on our research team on the surface, Captain Morgan had no choice but to defend them, with what your reports describe as overwhelming force, interjected Ambassador Trill of the Pleiadian Confederation. A single human vessel disabled 7 Drakthul warships without sustaining significant damage. This contradicts everything we understand about your species. Reed took a deep breath. The time had come for truth. When humanity first encountered the galactic community, we made a strategic decision. Our history on Earth was marked by warfare, yes, but also by innovation driven by conflict. We recognized that appearing non-threatening would facilitate our integration into galactic society. Murmurs spread through the chamber as translation devices conveyed his words to hundreds of different species. Humans avoid combat was never a complete truth, Reed continued. The accurate statement would be, humans avoid combat until it becomes necessary. And when it does become necessary, we excel at it. The holographic display behind Reed activated, showing footage from 40 Mini. The Drakthul ships had surrounded the Galileo, their weapons charged. What happened next stunned the Council. The human vessel executed a series of maneuvers that seemed to defy physics, deploying countermeasures and precision strikes that systematically disabled the Drakthul fleet without destroying a single vessel. We developed these defensive capabilities over centuries, Reed explained. Not out of bloodlust, but out of necessity. Our tactical systems are designed to neutralize threats with minimal loss of life. Admiral Zorn of the Drakthul delegation rose, his scaled face contorted with anger. The humans deceived us all. They are warriors masquerading as diplomats. No, Reed countered calmly. We are scientists and explorers who learn to defend ourselves. There's a difference. High Counselor Vex studied the human with new understanding. The Drakthul fired first. This is confirmed by multiple sources. The artifacts your team discovered? What did they reveal? Reed's expression softened. Evidence that peace is possible, High Counselor. The civilization that left those artifacts was more advanced than any of us. They mastered technologies we can barely comprehend, yet their records suggest they abandoned warfare entirely. They found a better way. And yet you came prepared for battle, noted Ambassador Trill. We came prepared for the universe as it is, Reed replied, while hoping to discover what it could be. The council chambers buzzed with conversation. Many delegates appeared troubled by the revelation, others intrigued. The truth about humans, Reed continued, is not that we avoid combat. It's that we understand its cost better than most. Every human carries the weight of our violent history. We know what happens when diplomacy fails. That knowledge makes us cautious, not weak. The Drakthul admiral growled. Pretty words to hide your deception. Reed turned to face him directly. Admiral, your vessels fired on unarmed researchers. Captain Morgan disabled your ships without taking a single Drakthul life. If we were the warriors you claim, would any of your fleet have returned? Silence fell over the chamber as the implications sank in. High Counselor Vex raised a slender hand. Perhaps we have misunderstood our human allies. Their actions at Foromini were proportional and restrained, despite their capabilities. Reed nodded, gratefully. We seek knowledge, not conquest. The artifacts we discovered might benefit all species. We invite Council oversight of our research. As the formal vote was recorded approving continued human presence at Foromini under Joint Council supervision, Reed reflected on the delicate balance humanity had always walked. Explorers and diplomats first, warriors only when necessary. The ancient civilization's records had revealed something else. They too had once been warriors before evolving beyond conflict. Humanity wasn't so different just earlier in the journey, and perhaps Reed thought that made humans uniquely qualified to understand both the Council's fears and the promise of what lay ahead among the stars. Humans avoid combat, the Galactic Council had stated, until necessary. The universe now understood.